Hello, everyone. How's it going? How's it going? Good? I can hear you. How's it going? Okay. Today, I'm going to talking about how to contribute. Before I'm going to give a talk, I want to introduce myself. My name is Yoshi. My GitHub account name or Twitter account name is Shiraji. I have been contributing Kotlin since July 2016. I made about 60 commits by now. I love Kotlin. I really do. And I also love my beautiful wife and lovely son. I work for ASICS and Runkeeper or Fitness Keeper, which has office in Japan, US, or Europe. So if you want to work with me, please contact me during the conferences or after party, or you can send me a pull request. Okay? Come on. Okay, so questions for you guys. Can you use git add, git commit, git push? No one? Oh, yeah. That's what I expected. Do you have GitHub account? Okay. Can you write Kotlin? Yeah. Okay. The reason why I ask these questions is the purpose of this talk is someone said yes to all questions, become a contributor of Kotlin. Because Kotlin uses Git as a version control system. The repository is hosted in GitHub, and Kotlin is written in Kotlin. And well, all the part is still Java, but I could say that. One thing you must know is Kotlin project consists a lot of features. Kotlin languages, Kotlin JS, Kotlin native, or Kotlin plugin. And most external contributor, like me, mainly working on Kotlin plugin. So this talk is focusing on how to contribute Kotlin plugin. However, once you understand how to contribute Kotlin plugin, you are able to contribute Kotlin languages or Kotlin JS or Kotlin native because there is only one repository called Kotlin. So finally, here is outline. Setup, communicating with others, and the first recommended way to contribution, and developing Kotlin plugin. The first one is setup. You know what? This is hardest part. This is hardest part. So I'm begging you, please don't give up here. Please. Please. There are 5 parts of setup. The first setup is JDK. Kotlin requires JDK 1.8. Well, there's tons of space in slide. You will know it. Kotlin requires JDK 1.7. Or more space. Kotlin requires JDK 1.6. Yes, you need to install 3 different versions of JDK. So I'm begging you, don't give up here. Please, don't give up. And if you take a close look at build.gradle.kts file, you will notice that there is optional settings for JDK 1.9. So in near future, you need to install 4 different versions of JDKs. Ooh. According to the documentation, we need to have these environment variable settings. And it's kind of hard to set up, right? So here's what I did. I used Java home command and -v option to specify each environment variables. And you can copy my code from this gist. And next setting is ant. Ant. Ant version must be higher than 1.9.4. If you use Mac OS, run brew command, brew install ant. And in most cases, you need memory settings. So set ant opt environment variables like this. And the third one is downloading dependencies. ant-f update download dependency is the command that will set up and download all dependencies. It took me about 50 minutes to complete. And I don't recommend to use Wi-Fi, because if you lost a connection, you have to do this again. Like imagine, after 30 minutes, your machine go to sleep, and you lost a connection. It happened to me a lot. So to prevent that, just make sure keep touching the mouse like this. Okay? The fourth one is IDE and its plugins. IntelliJ IDEA 2017.3 or higher is required to open Kotlin project. Both community and ultimate version works fine. I use both of them. For Gradle plugin setting, to run test easily, select delegate IDE build/run actions to Gradle. For Kotlin plugin, the version must be higher than 1.1.50. It is highly recommended to use up-to-date Kotlin plugin version. To make sure you use latest version of Kotlin plugin, go to Tools, configure Kotlin plugin updates, and click Check for Update Now buttons. Well, it's quite hard to imagine how to set up up-to-date Kotlin plugin version. So I brought a movie here. So go to Tools, go to Kotlin, and hit Configure Kotlin plugin updates. And there is Check for Update Now button. And make sure you use stable version. Well, let's hit this button. And if there is version available, install button showing up, so hit this button. And if you're using a latest version of Kotlin plugin, the message says you are using up-to-date Kotlin plugin version or something. OK. The last setting is module, last one. After you install up-to-date Kotlin plugin version, you are able to open Kotlin project. However, first time open Kotlin project, there is no module. And to fix this problem, go to File, New, Module from existing sources, and select build.gradle.kts file. And after that, dialog setting is popping up, so select Use Default Gradle Wrapper. But even though I put the instructions here, it's quite hard to imagine like how to set up, right? So let's see the movie. Open Kotlin project. And there is only settings file listed in project toolbar. There's no module, no source code. So to fix this problem, go to File, New, or jump to Module from existing sources. And select build.gradle.kts file. And import module from Gradle dialog is popping up, so make sure you use default Gradle wrapper setting. And hit OK. There you go. Kotlin module is showing up, and the source code is listed in the module. OK, you guys survived. Now everything is set. Congratulations. Let's run it. Select IDEA and hit Run button. And wait for a few seconds or a few minutes. The child IDEA pops up. What does this do is if you change Kotlin project, or if you change the code in the parent IDEA, the change is bundled to child IDEA. So you can check the change immediately in the child IDEA, or you can use the change immediately in the child IDEA. Isn't that cool? Because if you create a new feature of Kotlin, you are the very first one who use the feature. Yeah? I like it. Okay, so to sum up, as for setup, this is the hardest part. And you need to set up JDK, and IDEA, and its plugins. And if you have a problem, ask other contributors, like me. How? I didn't say that. Well, let's talk about that in next topic. Communicating with other developers. We mainly use 3 tools for communications. Let's talk about the use case of these tools. The first one is Slack. I believe most of people in this room already joined this team called Kotlin Lang. Yeah? If you are not, then get the invitation from this URL. There is contributors channel. This is the one that most of external contributors like me and JetBrains staff are staying. And if you have a problem building a Kotlin project or anything related to contribution, ask that question at this channel. In most time, you can get the answer within 1 business day. The second one is uTrack. Do you guys know what uTrack is? Yeah? Well, are you guys sleepy? No one respond me, please. Do you guys know what uTrack is? Okay. Well, uTrack is this site. This is a tool. uTrack is an issue management tool, and JetBrains staff developed. If you go to this URL, you can get you can see all public issues for Kotlin. You can mark any issue in this URL if there is no sign-in. If you have no idea which issue you want to work with, then check for app for grabs tag. These issues with this tag are free to contribute. If you find the issue you want to work with, the first thing you must do is comment, I'm going to do this. Since we are external contributors, JetBrains staff won't be able to assign our name as an assignee. But if I said I'm going to do this, I am treated as an assignee in JetBrains. The last one is GitHub. GitHub is basically where JetBrains staff give us a feedback of your pull request. Not much communication happens here, surprisingly, except keep. And I'm not going to talking about the keep. And if you don't know what keep is, Google Kotlin space keep, and you will find the repository called keep. And as far as I know, you should not send one new feature without an issue. The small documentation change or adding a comment can be merged without an issue, but not new features. So make sure you create an issue first. And if you are not sure you can send a pull request, or if you're not sure you can create an issue, then ask the question at Slack. After sending pull request, you should comment pull request URL to the issue. This is because JetBrains staff don't look at a GitHub. They constantly checking a uTrack, but not GitHub. And if you comment the URL, the issue goes to the top of the list, and JetBrains staff easily notice there is some progress on this issue, and they will find the pull request from the comment. So, to conclude the communication part, ask question in Slack, talk about issue in uTrack, and send the pull request in GitHub. Okay, so I gave you all information that is necessary for contribution. Now, let's start working with Kotlin actual project. There are 2 recommended ways to start contributing Kotlin. Writing the documentation is one of the best way to start contributing Kotlin. Actually, changing README is my first commit. I changed URL of the public issues utrack. And at this moment, unfortunately, README has not enough space for new contributors. However, JetBrains said that they really need the documentation for standard library. So find a class or function which is not documented well from this URL. You may think, well, standard library has a lot of documentation, right? Well, trust me, you can find at least 10 undocumented methods within a minute. And after you find the undocumented method, then add nice comment with kdoc and send pull request. That's it. Easy, right? And if you are not good English writer, or if you want to work as a coder, then providing a sample code is a better way to start contributing Kotlin. KT-20357 is the issue for providing a sample code for standard library. Check this URL. This issue is especially for beginners. Beginners of OSS contributors. The good point is you can send a pull request for just one sample code. I'm going to describe how to provide sample code. There are 4 steps. First, comment to the issue what standard library you want to work with, you want to provide a sample. Then write sample code, send pull request, and update the comment with the pull request link. Let me explain how to write sample code because I think this is the hardest part. First, create a sample method. The method name can be anything, but don't add the word test to the prefix or apostrophe because this is not test. This is sample code. And add sample annotations like this. And write sample code inside of the method. This code illustrates how to use group by method. There's no hard restrictions for writing sample code, as long as you understand, as long as you illustrate how to use the target method. You can add a comment like this. And then, in order to connect sample code and target method, add a comment to the target method with add sample space fully qualified method name, this. And after your pull request get merged, your sample code will be listed on the official documentation. Cool. And one of the cool features I really like about is clicking this green rectangle. This doesn't work. Okay, green rectangle. Green triangle, sorry. It actually runs the code and shows a result of sample code. Isn't that cool? In the browser? Yeah. So for more detail, please take a look at README in sample directories. So writing documentations and adding comment or providing sample are the best way to start contribution. Now you must feel like I can do this, right? No? Come on, guys. Please give me a feedback. Yes? Well, no? I don't know. Well, what? Do you want more? OK. Now let's create a Kotlin plugin feature. There are many features that we can work with. One of frequently asked feature is intention. According to JetBrains documentation, IntelliJ IDE recognizes code construct that can be optimized or improved and suggest appropriate intention actions. Take a look at this code. There is a labeled return statement at the end of the lambda. If the last statement of the lambda is an expression, it is considered as return value. So this means we can delete return at find. Do you guys follow me? Okay? So let's do this. Let's delete this statement using intentions. So this is what we want to delete. And let's hit Alt-Enter. Select intention action, remove return at find. And there you go. So this is the intentions. Let's implement this intention. Actually, this is not released yet. Here is a list of files you need to write when you create a new intentions, where XXX is intention name. The first file is implementing intentions. To implement the intention class, first thing you have to do is which expression class is used for the syntax. It's just impossible to do this without just looking at the code or guessing code. Well, it is KT lambda expressions or KT if expression. No, you cannot do this. So instead of doing that, use PSI viewer, which is bundle in child IDEA. PSI viewer is a tool that identifies the structure of the code. You can go to Tools and click View PSI Structure of current file. So this is child IDEA. And this is sample code. And this syntax is what we are looking for, the expression class. Okay, let's open the PSI viewer. Go to Tools and select View PSI Structure of current file. And the PSI viewer is popping up. And the code from child IDEA is showing up here. The important part is this one, PSI structure. This is a result of expression class. So let's highlight what we are looking for. And select this and wait for a few seconds. It says KT return expression. So we're going to create intentions for KT return expressions. Okay? But one thing you must remember is this one is also KT return expression. And this one too. So we have to create a KT intentions for KT return expression that is last statement of the lambda, and it has a labeled. Okay? So first, create a class that inherits self-targeting intention class. Self-targeting intention class is abstract class that needs target element type and text and family name as a primary constructor. The text is used for displaying intention action, and the family name is used for settings. And this class requires to implement two methods. One is applicable to. The other is apply to method. Its applicable to method is the method that returns Boolean. If this method returns true, then this intention action will be suggested for intention action is suggested. And apply to method is if user select intention action, the method will be the method is called. And normally modifying the code happens inside of this method. So going back to the code, KT return expression is target expression class for these intentions. So set KT return expression as type parameter here, and also the first parameter of the primary constructor. And then set the text and family name. Now implement the to method is applicable to and apply to method. Inside of the is applicable to method, I put print line for debugging purposes. I can just keep going, but I want to make sure that the intention is used. So let's go to the next step first. In order to register the intention to Kotlin plugin, we will add intention action tag to plugin.xml. Intention action tag is something like this. As of class name, the value is fully qualified class name of the intention class. We register the intention, so let's debug it. Oops. So select IDEA and hit debug button. And I'm gonna waste you guys 10 seconds of your life. And the child IDEA pops up. I use a Kotlin test project. This is what I created. This is just empty project. You guys need the project for the testing purposes. And I put the source inside that, and let's clean up the console of the parent IDEA. Go back to the child IDEA and hit Alt-Enter. And let's see the console. There you go. There's lots of debugging statement is listed here. So make sure don't put any like heavy execution in the is applicable to method because it's called a lot of time. Now let's test the breakpoint. Set breakpoint here, and go back to the child IDEA, and hit Alt-Enter. And there you go. Breakpoint works. Well, let's see how a variable works. Element.text. There you go. So debugging works like this. Now, let's finish up the intentions. This is what we already had before. I'm going to implement is applicable to method first. Get the label of return statement. In this case, find is the label of the name. Get lambda function name. Check if the return label and lambda function name is the same. And make sure the statement is last statement in the lambda. And finally, set the intention text as remove return at find. And next one is apply to method. Get returned expression. Check if it is null or not. If not null, then replace whole return expression with returned expression. So in this case, replace return at find true with true, like this. If it is null, like for each method, it returns unit. There's no value in returned value here. In that case, delete whole expressions, like this. So done for the implementing intention. Easy, right? Okay. Adding description file is next step. Create an HTML file that describes what intention does, like this. Adding sample code is next step. To add sample code, we will write two files. The first one is before.kt.template. This sample code describes the code that the intention would be triggered. The second file is after.kt.template. This code is the result of applying the intention actions. And if you have a good eye, you may already notice, but there is spot tag in before.kt.template file. This will highlight the code. We can add spot tag to after.kt.template file as well. In next movie, I will show what description file does and what before.kt.template or after.kt.template does. So go to the preferences and go to intention and filter by family name. And there you go. The intention is showing up. And description is coming here. And before.kt.template is coming here. And spot tag highlighted like this. And after.kt.template is coming here like this. So last file are test.date. Adding test.date has multiple steps. First, create a folder in test.date/intention directories. Add a .intention file in the directory. The content is fully qualified class name of the intention. And then create test.date. You may notice, but I keep saying creating a test.date, not test case. This is because it's similar to making a coffee. If you prepare a coffee bean and hit start button, the coffee machine automatically generates coffee, right? Testing intention is something like this. If you prepare test.date and hit generate all tests, the test case is automatically generated by Gradle. So we can only focusing on what test data we will provide. Adding test.date means you will provide one or two files in each test case. The first one is .kt file. This will test the intention will be triggered or not. The second one is .after file. The file name must be correspond with .kt file. The file content is a result after applying the intention action. Now, test.date is ready. Let's create a test case. We will generate a test case by running generate all test run configurations. Generate all test runs this Gradle command. This command generates the class that has a postfix with generated. Don't touch these files. These files are generated by Gradle, not human beings. After generating a test case, you can run the test case by hitting run button. If you set up correctly, it will run as a Gradle task. If you don't, then make sure you select delegate IDE build/run actions to Gradle options. So this will be describe how to add test data, how to generate a test case, and how to run test cases. So there is intentions folder. And there is .intention file. The file content is fully qualified class name of intentions. Now let's see the .kt file. This sample code, this test code will check whether intention is triggered or not. And there is a caret tag. This represents a cursor of the editor. And I also want to test the intention text is whether remove space return at find or not. So I put this comment. Let's see the .after file. This is the result after applying the intention actions. Okay, so we are ready for the test data. Let's generate a test case. In order to generate a test case, we will use generate all test run configurations. Well, let's select that and hit run button. And wait for a few minutes. The console says which file was generated. So there you go. There you go. It said that the intention test generated is generated. So let's open this file. But since the screen is small, so let's maximize it. And let's find the intention test. And there you go. So this class was generated by creating a test data. And there you go. Normal.kt file was test data was creating a test case, test method. Okay, well, let's run it. Go to the top of the file and hit run button. This one. And wait for like 3 minutes or 5 minutes. Done. Test burst. Cool. This is how we're gonna create a test, and we're gonna run the test case. And actually, I haven't explained this, but there are so many options for creating a test data. For instance, when we need to have runtime dependencies, we will add with runtime comment top of the test data file. Since there are many options, you want to read the documentations, right? Luckily, you have documentation in abstract intention test or Kotlin write code inside the texture test case, which is written in your favorite languages, Kotlin, not English. So everything is done. Cool. Let's finish it up. The documentation requires us commit comment has issue number. So if you work on the issue 1, 2, 3, then you will comment kt-123 space fixed. You must send pull request to master branch. After sending a pull request, you're gonna comment the URL to utrack issue, as I said before. And well, JetBrains staff are really, really busy, so just wait until they respond. And if you successfully merge at least one commit, your name will be listed in Kotlin official blog post. Here's my name. Where is it go? Here you go. And the GitHub account name is used for the blog post. So make sure you set your correct name, otherwise your weird name is listed in here. Okay, so to conclude this presentation, the setup is really hard. And communicating others is important to contribution. Adding documentations or providing sample are the best ways to start contributions. And finally, have a nice Kotlin or have a nice contributions. Okay, since I think you guys gonna be contributors, I wanna take a photo with you guys. Can you do that? Yeah? Let me do that. Maybe this part. Okay? How can I do this? Say cheese! Yeah! Future contributors. And this one, this side. How can I do this? Wait. Sorry, guys. Say cheese! Yeah! Okay. Well, 10 minutes left. This may be out of topic, but I just want to introduce what this happened. I made a blog post about how to contribute Kotlin in Japanese in 2016. Now, some developer in Japan is create a working group called Moku Kotlin Contribute JP. They try to contribute Kotlin as a team. Isn't that cool? And I feel so good for this one. So I'm hoping this happen in other places. Well, do you guys have any questions? Oh my gosh, I speak this first. Okay. Special thanks to the illustrator. Thanks a lot, guys.